All right, in this video, we're gonna talk about dispositioning a sell and stay real estate strategy.
Household easy, we close fast, and anytime that works for you, your house don't need it, we'll throw cash.
We're gonna talk about dispositioning a sell and stay real estate strategy, okay? So it's really straightforward. This is gonna be a short video. What you are gonna do is you're gonna find a motivated seller and you're gonna offer to buy the property from them. But in this case, they are most likely not going to need to sell right away. They might not even want to sell right away, but they're gonna know typically that they need to at some point in the future. That could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could even be 2 or 3 years out in some cases. So what we are gonna do is we're gonna offer to purchase the property from them. And then we're gonna figure out our financing and we are actually going to purchase the property. We are going to pay them and the deed is going to transfer into our name and we now own the property. But what we are also going to do is we are simultaneously going to allow them to stay in the property and we're going to get a lease signed. So this is referred to as the sell and stay model. They're going to sell us the property, but they are going to stay in it. We are not going to require them to hand us the keys and move out at the closing table, which is traditionally what happens with a traditional deal. In this case, and with this type of deal, we are going to allow them to stay. And I actually encourage people often when I buy properties from them that they don't have to leave. They can actually stay, but they're going to need to sign a lease. Now that lease could be month to month, it could be week to week. In some cases, you might even do a 6 months or a 12 month or even a 24-month lease with your prospective seller. It really is going to depend on what you and them agree to. If you and they agree to a couple days or a couple weeks or a couple months, or maybe they want to stay for a couple years, then that's what's going to be on your lease. It's going to just be a written agreement of what you and them verbally had spoke about and agreed about. Now, I love the sell and stay model because it allows me to acquire properties from individuals that don't necessarily need to sell today because they don't want to move out of their home, like I mentioned earlier, but they know that they need to sell at some point. And these are typically going to be elderly folks. And these individuals can stay in their home. They can stay there. But what it does for them is it allows them to not have to worry about selling it later. It's already done. And what it also allows them to do is to not have to move quickly. And it also allows them to stay in their home that they may not want to leave. They may want to stay there, but maybe they need to unlock some of that equity, or maybe they know that their time is limited and they may need to be moving into an elderly community, a nursing home, something along those lines at some point in the future. And when that happens, they don't want this headache of having to sell the property. They can actually do it in advance. They can say, I'm going to probably need to go to, an elderly community in the next year or two, Dave, but, I don't want to have something bad happen like a fall where I break a hip or something terrible happens and then have to deal with this home while I'm in a hospital bed. So why don't I sell it to you now at a fair price and then you lease it back to me until I'm ready to leave? And that's totally fine with me. And actually, I love this model because it prevents me from having to maintain the property and or rehab the property, assuming it needs it, right away. I can acquire the asset, and I'm acquiring an asset with somebody that's already in it willing to pay me rent. They're willing to sign a lease, and I know they can make the rent payments because I just bought the property off of them. So most of the time they're going to get a sizable, substantial amount of capital at closing because of the fact that they sold it to me. They unlock the equity that's in that property or in that home. That's really what this is, and provide them with some capital. And it also gives them a ton of convenience because when they are ready to move on, all they typically have to do is call and let us know that they're moving on, and we will let them out of their lease. The lease really is more of an agreement upon price than anything else on a sell and stay. I'm never going to hold somebody to it because, at the end of the day, if they move out, that gives me the opportunity to get in there, clean it up, update it, and really even raise the rent most likely for the next tenant. So either way, it's a win-win. Don't overcomplicate the sell and stay. They sell it to you and then they stay in the property as a tenant. That's That's it. It's incredibly simple. Don't overthink it, but add this tool to your belt because it will give you more options to present to the seller when you are working with them and you are buying the property. And they, assuming they don't want to move or need to move today, will appreciate this opportunity, this option, or this offering that you are giving to them, which is ultimately going to increase your chances of getting the deal and acquiring the property. You guys got this.
House so easy, we close fast and anytime that works for you. Your house don't need it, we'll throw cash.